Hey everyone, welcome back to Goofy Foot Garage. Working on the F1 today. It is Tuesday. I was able to take the front end off, pulled that all over here. Took the cab off last night, cut out that tube support frame I had, welded in there, all that crap in there. And in doing so, I ended up mangling the new rocker panels that I put in. So I have a new tool that I bought from Harbor Freight, that 3-in-1 press brake shear roller thing. It's a thing, weighs like 200 pounds. Thing's a tank. Built a frame for it a while back, so I used that today to build myself new rocker panels. What happens was these rocker panels, the unfortunate part is they're like 38 inches long, a little over like 38 and 5/8. That little press brake and shear can only go to 30 to 36 inches. I think it's 30 inches. So obviously I had to make two pieces to get the whole full length of the 38 and 5/8. So I made two pieces, basically they're 2 feet long, and I marked off where I need to cut to make one solid piece at 38 and 5/8. Did that for both sides, one side there, one side there. Marked the cut. So now I'm gonna get my welder out, which is hiding behind the press brake, and I'm gonna cut those off and clamp them together. I have like those little sheet metal like clamps you get from Harbor Freight to hold sheet metal close together for welding. Use those and tack it together. I'm going to use my straight edge, this little guy here, to help hold that in straight. Make sure that's a straight angle. And by the way, this little shear press brake thing, I wouldn't say it's the best tool ever. It works. I want to say this is like 20 gauge. This is really thin metal. It's not like 16 gauge or 18 gauge. And I think that says it can take up to like 18 gauge. And it was tough cutting, shearing it, and bending it. Getting that 90-degree bend in this on that thing at 2 feet long. It was difficult. It was not easy. And it took 2 or 3 passes to get a 90-degree bend on this stuff, as you can see. It's still not completely 90 degrees on that end, and that end's pretty 90 degrees. So yeah, it took a lot of setting up to get that just right, to get that to bend. So not the best tool, but I'm glad I have it, because I wouldn't want to have to order new one of these. They're not the expensive parts in the world, but I don't want to have to go out and order new ones to continue with my project, because I need these rocker panels in the truck before I start building like some kind of, like, again, I want to do some kind of support from the back of the cab. So I'm going to put that extended cab here and go across the rocker panel and up into the cowl. So I want to have something to tack weld that frame to. So having these rocker panels is kind of a necessity right now. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. I'm going to cut these off, clamp them, make sure I have the right length, keep it straight, tack weld them together, and then maybe I'll just continue to fully weld them, just try to keep it cool so it doesn't warp them, but just do tack welds here and there, just to get them done. So that's my goal today, is to get these done. I have to go to work at like 5 o'clock tonight. It is noon, so I got 5 hours to play with this. Hopefully I can do that. If I do get this done, I'm gonna go play at the front end and bolt the front fenders to the upper and lower grill valance, get that together as one piece with the inner fenders and the core support. And again, I told you I cut a lot of it out. Yeah, the inner fenders are a lot of it's cut out. And that's the mock frame I put in there, tacked in there. It needs to be tweaked a little bit. It's a little too wide, so it doesn't fit in there quite right. So I gotta, uncut up the tacks and squeeze them together. So anyhow, that is where I'm at today. And yeah, we'll keep going. And next video, hopefully we'll have new rocker panels in the truck, front end bolted together. And then once I get the rocker panels in the truck, I'll put the cab, try to finish putting the cab in the proper location. Oh, actually no, tomorrow I'm gonna work on the bed. So I don't know if you guys remember when I was on DJ's Machine Shed, I tried putting the bed down. The sidewall of the bed interferes with the tire. So actually I'm gonna go in and cut out part of the sidewall of the bed and put in kind of like a wheel well inside the bed. So that's completely enclosed, but yeah, I can't lower the bed any farther because it's actually hitting the tire right now. So that'll be my next step. I don't want to like have to try to locate the cab and then have the bed sitting up, 6 inches higher than it should be. I want the bed in the proper location so then I can bolt the running boards on correctly and not have everything's kind of, you know, off angle or shit like that. So, all right, I've talked enough. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna go finish these rocker panels and keep moving. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next video. Today I was working on the rocker panels for the F1. This guy right here. So if you remember, I was talking about removing that square rectangular support steel tube that I put inside the cab along the rocker panel and then back behind the cab, tying the cab together. Didn't like it, didn't like the way I did it, so I removed it, and in doing so, I butchered the rocker panels that I actually put in there. These were replacement ones I think I got from AMD. Yeah, kind of messed them up. So, had to make my own, and this is what I did so far. First top pair, tried making, and I got to learn to be patient with my welding because obviously it was warping and I was burning through in my welding, so I had to remake them. So I ended up going back and remaking these ones, and I just tack, cooled it off, tack, cooled off. Have not grinded them yet, just did second round of tack welds. I mean, they're not bad, it's not horrible, but it'll work. That'll replace those ones I had unbutchered. So what I'm gonna do now is actually take the cab off of the frame. It's just kind of sitting there. Obviously I got my engine hoist in there holding it up. So I'm gonna pull that off and tack weld these back in place and go from there. I'm gonna still try to do some kind of rectangular square steel support tubing on the chassis or on the F1 cab. If you can see here, I got a 1x1 square tube going in and around the cowl, and then it goes down the cowl, and it's kind of lower than the cowl right now, so I'm gonna actually chop that off, run it alongside the cowl here, and then tie it into the rocker panel on the cab, and then keep going back to where the extended cab would be, and then loop up and over and tie the cab together. So that'll make the whole cab so a lot more rigid, more supportive. And what I'm thinking is I might even use this top square support to hold the steering column, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use the Explorer. I think the support they use for the steering column also housed the air conditioning duct, so I might be taking that out. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to mount the steering wheel. Obviously there's no dash in here, so I can't just weld the steering column to the dash somehow. So I'm going to use that square, that 1-inch square, and then probably maybe put a second one across there, something to tie the steering wheel into it, because there's nothing right now to hold the steering wheel steering column in the truck. So yeah, put those in the cab, and when that is done, I'm going to bolt together the front end. I might actually end up trimming off all of this steel here on the inside rocker panel, because it's just going to get in the way trying to put it on. This side, it's not so bad because this one has like that access panel that originally came on the F1. So half of this thing was actually an access panel. But I don't know, I might trim a little bit more of this out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I got new parts, got the headlight bucket plates there, used parts. I never had the fender support brackets here that mount to the inner fender, and then they help hold the fender up. I bought those off eBay, some got them on eBay. It's awesome, didn't have those. I do have a new lower round. I don't have an up. I thought I had a new upper one, but I don't have a new upper one, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to use that one or not. That latch obviously is a little messed up. That needs to be repaired. Definitely a lot of rust repair and bondo and bodywork. That's going to have to get done, you know, down the line. But for now, to get the cab located on the Explorer chassis, I'm just going to get all buttoned up and put on there. I might be having some interference with these, the frame addition that I added on. I know the inner fender was kind of hitting that a little bit, and this cross member might need to go back a little bit more to help where the support the radiator core is. Not sure. The way I had it, was the radiator core was on the far back end of it, so it's kind of a little too far forward for where I'd like it to be. So anyhow, that's where I am today. It is Wednesday, June 1st, first day of June. New rocker panels are mostly made, ready to go. Cab is looking kind of sad. It's yeah, it is what it is. But so that's where I am for today. Hopefully by the end of the day you'll see that front end together. Might put it back on the pickup truck, not sure. Put the rocker panels back in here, tack weld them in, and maybe I'll get to the bed today. What I want to do with the bed is pull the fenders off on the outside, empty all the parts and crap I got in the truck bed, and mark where the tires are hitting the inside bedside, because yeah, the tires are hitting up in here. So I'm gonna trim that out, make wheel wells on the inside, and go from there. Anyhow, rambled on long enough. You can see my puppies up there doing their business. Yeah, they're my guard dogs. Look at those guys, lazy, just laying in the grass. So anyhow, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.